Micah 6 verse 7 reads, "Will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams, with 10,000 rivers of olive oil? Shall I offer my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul?" Jeremiah 8 verse 8 reads, "How can you say we are wise, for we have the law of the Lord, when actually the lying pen of the scribes has handled it falsely?"
Several Islamic scholars believe Micah 6 verse 7 and Jeremiah 8 verse 8 may reflect a scribal interpolation of Isaac's name in Genesis 22. The son who was nearly sacrificed is believed to have been Ishmael, not Isaac. What is the articulation of their argument? The argument presented by some Islamic scholars regarding the potential scribal interpolation of Isaac's name in Genesis 22 is based on several key points. 1. Quranic perspective. The Quran mentions the story of Abraham being commanded to sacrifice his son, but does not explicitly name the son. Islamic tradition generally holds that it was Ishmael, not Isaac, who was to be sacrificed. 2. Textual analysis of Micah 6 verse 7. This verse states, "Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul?" Some Islamic scholars interpret this as a reference to the sacrifice story and argue that since Ishmael was Abraham's firstborn, this verse supports the idea that Ishmael was the intended sacrifice. 3. Interpretation of Jeremiah 8 verse 8. This verse reads, "How can you say, we are wise, for we have the law of the Lord, when actually the lying pen of the scribes has handled it falsely?" Islamic scholars use this to suggest that scribes may have altered biblical texts, potentially including the story of Abraham's sacrifice. 4. Historical context. Some scholars suggest that the emphasis on Isaac in Jewish traditions may have led to a gradual change in the story, resulting in Isaac's name being added to the biblical narrative. 5. Linguistic analysis. Some scholars examine the original Hebrew text and argue that there are inconsistencies or ambiguities that could support the idea of later interpolation. 6. Theological implications. The argument often ties into broader Islamic theological perspectives on the role and significance of Ishmael in the Abrahamic tradition. It is crucial to emphasize that this perspective is not universally embraced by scholars of comparative religion, and it is just one interpretation within a multifaceted interfaith discussion. The argument relies heavily on interpretation and inference, as there is no direct textual evidence of interpolation in the Genesis account itself. This perspective challenges traditional Jewish and Christian understandings of the text and highlights the different ways sacred texts can be interpreted across religious traditions.